Coucou, aujourd'hui vous allez prendre des notes sur les expressions négatives. So we're going to start by showing examples of sentences in French with negatives. So here we're seeing a lot of examples of ne pas in the present, in the passé composé, in the imperative as a question. And ne pas is an expression that you guys are all familiar with, but you might have some trouble putting it in the right spot depending on the verb tense. We're going to use ne pas de when we're asking about if something like exists and if you're trying to say that there's not a single one of those. Est-ce que ta famille a un poste de télévision? No, nous n'avons pas de poste de télévision. And the de lets us know that there's not any. We have ne jamais, never, ne plus, no longer, ne personne, no one, ne rien, nothing, ne ni, so neither nor, ne aucun, which is not any, and you need to have typically a noun after this, ne aucun something. You don't have any friends, any dogs, whatever it might be. And then we have this expression ne que. It's not negative, but it means only. So if I want to say that I only read a book before I'm going to bed, then I'm going to use ne que around the verb to read to say that I'm only reading under this situation. But it works grammatically like these other negative expressions, so we often learn it with these other expressions. So we have some examples of these. On the left-hand side, we have words like often, sometimes, always, from time to time. The opposite of those words is going to be never. Does she always watch the news, like the information? No, she never watches them. Do you sometimes watch science fiction films? No, never. In this question, avez-vous jamais rencontré une vedette de cinéma? Have you ever met a celebrity? The word jamais now is used to mean ever instead of never. So encore and toujours would mean like still. Its opposite would be ne plus. So do you still watch Breaking Bad? No, I no longer am watching it. Do you still like this series? No, I no longer like it. When we're saying quelqu'un, someone, or qui, who, the opposite would be no one. So if you want to say that you do not know anybody at the party, je ne connais personne. Now in this question, qui aime ce téléfilm? Qui is the subject. So if you want to say that nobody likes it, you're going to write that as personne ne. Personne is the subject. Personne ne l'aime. And for this, you don't need to use pas. We already know that it's a negative sentence. So you just need to be careful and decide, are you the subject of the sentence? Is someone the subject of the sentence? Or is the word no one the subject of the sentence? And that's going to let you know whether you're using ne personne to go around a verb or personne ne, where personne is the subject. With quelque chose, something, the opposite would be ne rien. Il n'y a rien à la télé ce soir. There's nothing on TV. Answering the question, qu'est-ce qu'il y a à la télé? What's on television? There is nothing. And again, we can do the same thing that we did with ne personne and make rien the subject. Okay? So in the question, est-ce que le film est crédible? Is the film credible? Rien n'est crédible dans ce film. Nothing is credible. And if you want to modify the word nothing, you can, or the word no one with an adjective, you would just have to put the word de before that. So in the sentence right above, where there's this little explanation, il ne parle de rien d'intéressant. He's talking about nothing interesting. Going along with the question on the left, what is the actor talking about in the interview? If we have and or, then its opposite is going to be neither nor. Do you like to watch TV and films? No, I don't like to watch neither TV nor films. So again, ne aucun, not any or none. None of these three series is good. You can make it the subject. Or you can make it an adjective and say this actor has zero, does not have any talent, has no talent. Finally, we're going to take a look at the word si, which is actually used as a way to say yes in French. But the way they use si is when you ask a question that's been put in the negative, and if you want to say that the opposite is true, you're going to use si. So, n'avez-vous pas aimé ce film? The person is assuming that you didn't like the film. For some reason, something you did made them think you don't like it. But you want them to know that, in fact, you did like the film. So you're going to say si. If you were to answer a question like this with oui, then you're saying that the question is correct and that they observed correctly that you don't like the film. However, if they ask you the question positively, avez-vous aimé ce film? Then a simple oui will suffice. And there you have it, just a brief revision of negative expressions. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask in class tomorrow. À demain!